Hey, welcome to the Emmy Wilson Design Studio. Today I'm going to be converting this regular Epson E2800 printer into a sublimation printer. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep watching. First of all, this is a brand new Epson ET2800. It did not come with the sublimation ink. That is something I purchased separately. It's important that you start with a printer that's never been used before because you can't mix the two inks together. You need a special kind of ink to do sublimation. The sublimation ink that I'm using today is Hippo brand. It comes with a black, a cyan, a magenta, and a yellow. You should also know this may void the warranty on your printer. You're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need scissors to open up your ink. You're going to need pliers to open up your bottle. You're going to need a paper towel, and you're also going to need something to lay all this on because it's going to get messy. So don't wear anything that you don't want to ruin as far as clothes or otherwise. I'm going to use the packaging just to lay my parts on as I start taking this apart and just have a place a surface for all this to land on. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to carefully pull this top really slowly, just enough that I can pull it out the plug in this ink with my fingers. I'm going to remove that plug and set that to the side. Now, next I'm going to take my syringe. I'm going to make sure it's plunged all the way down so there's no air in it. I'm going to put it down into my ink and then I'm going to draw my ink slowly up into my syringe until it's almost full, right about there. And now I'm going to take this and I've opened up the yellow and I've closed all the rest so that I don't accidentally put it in the wrong one. And there's a little part in here I'm going to show you in a second, and I'm going to stick that needle part down into my printer and plunge slowly, filling that tank. And I'm going to show you an overhead view of what this looks like here in just a second on the next fill. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like doing it from overhead. So this little area right here, you're going to stick that long needle in this part here and slowly plunge your ink down into the yellow tank on your Epson printer. I'm going to repeat this process until all the yellow has been filled, and then I'll do the next two colors, magenta and cyan. As your bottle starts to get empty, you're going to have to tilt that bottle down to the side and hold with, I'm holding mine with my pinky and my thumb, and then I'm going to kind of help myself with a syringe with my middle finger and my index finger, and then I'm going to draw this up with my other hand. I'm going to keep filling my syringe until my cartridge on my printer is completely filled, and I'll show you what that looks like here in the next fill. So here's where we are so far. We're probably about 75% full. There's a line right up here at the very, very top. It's kind of hard to see on video, but we're going to fill to this very top mark here. We don't want to overfill, and that's what we're looking for. This is the first video in my Sublimation Creative series. I'll be linking all the products and putting some links in the description below if you're interested in purchasing some of these things for yourself or for your small business. You can get into this if you just want to do some crafting, but a lot of people get into this for small businesses as well. So I plan to do a lot of videos about this topic in the future. Just a little bit more. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any videos in this series. I don't recommend doing this if you're in a hurry. This is a pretty time-consuming process for the first time. So I'm putting my lid back on my yellow now that I've got my tank full. And you can see I didn't use all the bottle. So you're going to want to hang on to this syringe, hang on to this bottle so that you can add more ink once that yellow starts to get low. Now I'm just going to repeat the process with the red. Filling these last tanks, let me tell you a little bit about sublimation. So sublimation is a process. It actually happens that whatever you're sublimating to, the ink is going to fuse into that. So in order for that to happen, you have to have a poly substrate or a polyester substrate. So for like a textile, it would need to be a polyester textile. It doesn't have to be 100%, but the higher the content of the polyester, the more vibrant that your transfer is going to be. You do want to have at least 50%. Otherwise, what you're going to need to do is put a substrate on top of that textile. So for instance, like a cotton, you would need to put a polyester spray to make that material more receptive to your sublimation ink. You can also sublimate on different materials besides textiles or fabrics. For instance, you can do metal, tile, wood surfaces, things like that, but you are going to have some sort of a poly or polyester element to that substrate to be able for it to receive the ink. Right now, what I've done is I'm packaging up my different syringes into different plastic baggies. I want to make sure I keep all those parts together because I'll need each color syringe to refill my tanks. I don't want to get each one of them contaminated, so I'm making sure to package those individually, and then I'm just going to put them all into one big plastic bag once I'm done. And then I've also decided to put all my inks back into the original packaging that it came in so that I can hang on to those. So that's it. We have our sublimation printer ready to go. It's ready to hook up to the computer. It does take some time. Just be patient. Don't get air bubbles in your ink. Make sure you have your correct supplies and materials before you get started. And other than that, it's a pretty simple process. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like and a follow. That helps this channel grow so I can bring you more content like this that's helpful for your crafting and small business. So if that's something that you're